Raven, and this is my second vlog of the day as I have been called out, so I decided to go for a walk. So I have had a really crazy morning and it's not got any better so far today. Been really busy, but I wanted to show you my local community centre. Here we go, local community centre, tour of the village. So we have a community centre, and then we also have bottle bank, which is pretty cool. We do believe in recycling quite a lot in our little village. We have bottle banks here outside the community centre, and then as you go to the shop, at the shop we also have a paper disposal, and we used to have a shoe bank that was at the pub until it was taken away when the owner swapped. But the school is up there. There's a little shelter that the smokers of the school usually sit at. So we have a quiet little village. The little dikes that you see get cleaned up quite regularly, and there is a playing field which we're going to go see. So let's go and see the playing field. So to go to the playing field you have to go up this massive hill, which is really big. And the playing field has been through quite a lot of, I would say, discussion recently. The football team that we used to have is no more. School used to have a football team, and it doesn't happen anymore. We used to have a little pavilion, as you can see there, which used to house the football equipment and used to be the changing rooms. You can see they've been taking trees, hedges, and demolishing parts of it as well. So there is no more football team, which is a shame. The park itself is quite minimal. To be fair, we have a swing set, or two swing sets, which are fairly recent. We have a slide. We have the two little, what I want to call bouncers. We have another swing set over there, and we have tyres. We then have the bench, which we've actually used before. We have actually had a picnic down here before. Wasn't the best picnic in the world, but a picnic nonetheless. Then we have the basketball court, which unfortunately doesn't really get any love and attention anymore. Quite a lot of the kids hang around down here, broken bottles, and it's like they just make a mess. Then further down you can see two goalposts. We had a football team, which we don't have anymore, which is a shame. My partner's brother used to play for the football team quite regularly. My son always had a inkling to join the football team when he was old enough, which he theoretically would be now, but the park is no more. The football club is no more, sorry. This was the pavilion. We used to call it the pavilion. It used to be the changing rooms and that for the football. It was recently broken into and vandalised. Lovely village I live in. You can see that they're all taking down trees and trying to make the area better, while kids are trying to destroy the area. So it's like banging your head against a brick wall, trying to make the area good, and kids are trying to make it worse. It's generally teenagers doing it, which is a shame because they have, or had, a youth club which is now on temporary hiatus. They also apparently disturbed some flowers that were near the bus stop. There's a nice little garden there that was made. I'll possibly show you that today or in another one, that had been put together by the bus shelter for the village. to make it look nice and green and colourful, and apparently they were disturbed within the first week of putting them in. The bus shelter itself, let me turn you around to me. The bus shelter itself is constantly being left in disarray, I suppose. You just don't seem to know what bins are. It's just pure laziness. There is a bin opposite the bus shelter as well, which is probably the worst thing, that there is a bin and it's not used. So Swivel itself, I would say, is an ever-growing town, village, hamlet, whatever you want to call it. Let me zoom out a bit. Whoa, wrong way. So it is a town, village, hamlet, however you want to put it, that is looking to better itself. The community centre that I showed you earlier is used for a number of things. At Christmas I went to a Christmas quiz there and lost miserably. Oh yeah, I lost. And then the actual hall itself, which is that way, is actually used for a number of things. They have Scrabble there, they have photography cards, they have an absolute abundance in the hall, which does get used fairly regularly. And then we also have what we call the heart of the village, which is the pub, which is here. I actually used to work at the pub back in the day. Sounding old, but I did. I used to work at it when it was called the Peddler's Inn, and now it's called the Swivel Stray, which is the original name of the pub. It's currently under new ownership. I worked there 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. I worked in the kitchen, lovely job washing up, but it pays the bills. Now it's the Swivel Stray. It's kind of a new age style inside of the pub itself. It also has a pool table in. They don't currently serve food, but they do have special nights, and they do have a quiz night as well, which is every month. Not been to it yet, but do plan to. The Swivel Stray itself looks like that. It's called the Swivel Stray Watering Hole and Garden. Haven't actually seen the garden, but I have sat outside before. It is a very quaint little pub, as you can see. Very quaint. It does have a pool table in what used to be the restaurant, and then in the inside you got the bar area, and then it also has a function room, which I've actually haven't had myself a function in there, but it has had parties and other occasions. Let's turn you around. So the village itself isn't humongous, but it is trying to better itself. I do like living in Swivel. I've always said I didn't like it, and when I moved here I was shocked because it was totally different to where I've lived before. I'm used to busier places, much busier places. I've lived in Norwich, so yeah, when we say busy, we mean busy. I've also lived by the coast, so I've lived at Yarmouth area, and I've lived in the city, and now I live in one of the quietest places on earth. Although it isn't that quiet, to be fair. Swivel does have a lot going for it. I do feel it's people would call this a retirement village. You come here, but there are people with families, there are business people here as well. There are business people that live here as well, that commute to work on a daily basis as well. So there are all ages, all ethnics around here, people from different backgrounds and everything. So there's no one set of people that live in this village. You've got the young, you've got the old, of course. You have the people that commute to and from work as well, so you do get a varied mix. around the village on a day-to-day basis you will see a number of people as well. We also have our little dikes, which I'll show you. So these little dikes usually flood during the winter, to be fair, but when they get overgrown they are cleaned out. Usually in the summer this would all be overgrown, like properly overgrown. It would be an abundance of weeds, and then generally it all gets cleaned out, and at the minute it's looking pretty good, even with the fact we've had virtually no snow, which is unfair because all my people in Canada and America are snowed in and freezing to death right now. And here we are on a glorious sunny day. Yes, I have a coat on, but I'm actually not cold. And we are heading this way, which in fact takes us to it's not the bottom end of the village, because the bottom end of the village is back the other way, because you can go right down Spool the other way. Let me turn around. Spool itself is like in 3 different directions. You can go back to where we were at the park and carry on going, and you go down that way, and then it ends up being like the bottom end of Spool, which is where the nursery is, called Elephant and Castle. And then this end of the village where we're now walking is the shop, bus shelter, and it's technically the way out of Spool. They used to have a B&B down the other end, but I'm not sure if it's still there. I believe it's under new ownership, but I could be wrong. But like you've seen, we have a school, which I can't show you for obvious reasons. We have a park, we have the community centre, we have the church, and then we're going to show you the shop, which I was going to show you the other day, and then my camera died. Should have known batteries. But we do have some bus service that runs really well. The bus service is fairly regular. We do have buses every day, 6 days a week, apart from Sundays. Saturdays are maybe a bit iffy, but we do get buses every day, which is good. So these are the, let me turn it round, these are the little dikes again that run. This one generally floods and then it ends up all flooded everywhere. And then this is the bus shelter, and this was the newly laid garden, and in the summer it'll actually look fairly good. The bus shelter is usually where the kids hang out, to be fair. This is called Bunkers Hill, and believe me, it is a hill. See? Nice little garden, and in the summer this is really nice, and it actually does come out really nicely, and it's hopefully going to look really good. A group of people in Spool actually did it and made it. Pretty cool. See? And then we've got the village shop. Just zoom in. This is the village shop, and next to it, if you can see very well, I don't know if you can with the car, there is a little garden centre. And we actually have a mini garden centre in the village, which is pretty cool. And we also have a postal service, which is really good. We also have the paper bank and clothing bank there as well, which works pretty well. We do like to recycle and not make waste in the village. It's bin day today actually as well. I did remember to put my bin out finally this morning. I had already gone to the shop. It's amazing how you remember it's bin day when everyone but you has a bin out. Funny that. So let's show you Spool again. So like I said, Spool itself is small, but it does have a lot going for it. Like I said, you've got the shop and the groups and community spirit, maybe. I'm not so sure. Also, sometimes I will eventually show you Swaffham and a number of other places, which will be fun. So let's turn you around. Woo. There we go, that's better. Now I can see myself. So, what have we learnt today? Well, we've learnt that I'm actually enjoying walking as well. Gets me out and about. But we have learnt that Swivel, even though it's small, does have a lot for it. The community centre, the church, the school, the park is a work in progress. The shop is run by two lovely gentlemen, Mitt and Jit. Love the shop. I go in there, I want to say every day. We do have a chip band on a Thursday. I don't tend to use it anymore, hence the Happy Hiking Trails diet scheme which I'm on. If you want to check out Happy Hiking Trails YouTube channel, I'm doing the challenge for February, and the challenge for February is to become healthy and happy, I suppose. I have to walk 30 minutes a day outside, which I'm managing, really easy. And then on top of that, I have to give up chocolate, candy and sweets for a month. Which actually, I have no cravings for chocolate whatsoever, and it's day 6. So, I think I'm doing pretty well. You'd have thought I'd have been like getting cravings or something, but actually I'm not, which is weird. I'm not getting a craving at all for any kind of sweet, to be fair, chocolate or candy. So it's gonna be one of them days. Keep walking. If you're wondering why I'm huffing, my back is actually killing. I've walked for like an hour and a half today, and really it should be half an hour, but life can't stop just because your back hurt, or can it? Well, I suppose I could sit indoors and look at 4 walls all day, but when there's all this beauty and nature outside, why would you want to be indoors constantly? Which is what I generally am. I'm in most of the time. So that was a little tour of my village. Part 2, if you haven't already watched the graveyard tour and the church, I highly recommend it. It's a little look into my church and graveyard, which is already up. But if you haven't already, and you'd like to subscribe to my channel, which is ever growing, and give you a big thumbs up, that would be awesome. And I'll see you very soon for another vlog. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye.